On the night of April 20th, 2010, the Gulf of Mexico was calm. 80 miles offshore, the drilling rig Deepwater Horizon floated in darkness, a steel island lit by floodlights and surrounded by nothing but water and sky. The crew had finished a major milestone. They were sealing a well deep beneath the ocean floor, a reservoir of oil so vast that BP called it a giant. It was routine work, another shift, another night. But within hours, the quiet platform would become a blazing inferno. 11 men would vanish into the flames, and the ocean beneath would rupture, spilling millions of barrels of oil and igniting the largest marine environmental disaster in history. Deepwater Horizon wasn't a small operation. It was a technological marvel, a floating rig capable of drilling in over 5,000 feet of water, reaching through another 13,000 feet of rock below the seabed. The crew on board that night numbered 126: engineers, drillers, roustabouts, supervisors, men who knew the risks, the machinery, the isolation. Life on the rig was strict and orderly. Safety briefings, daily checks, a culture that valued precision. But the well they were working on, known as Macondo, was unpredictable. The deeper they drilled, the more pressure they encountered. Methane, oil, and seawater sat in unstable layers. The job that night was to seal the well with cement, locking it down before the rig moved on. It was one of the most critical steps in offshore drilling. If the cement failed, oil and gas could shoot up the well like a cannon blast. No one believed they were seconds from disaster. Before sealing a well, crews run pressure tests to confirm it's secure. On Deepwater Horizon, those tests were supposed to be routine. But on April 20th, the results were strange. A negative pressure test showed unexpected pressure in the lines. Some engineers insisted something was wrong. Others believed the reading was a false positive, a known quirk of the equipment. A debate broke out in the drill shack, the control room of the rig. They needed the test to pass. The well needed to be sealed. Schedules were tight. Eventually, they decided the pressure readings weren't dangerous, just confusing. They moved ahead. It was a fatal mistake, because deep below the ocean floor, methane gas was forcing its way upward. Just before 10 p.m., workers on the rig noticed mud in the drilling pipe moving erratically. The well was supposed to be stable, but the drilling mud, used as a heavy fluid to keep pressure down, was being pushed upward violently. A blowout was beginning. But the speed of it shocked even veterans on the crew. In seconds, thousands of gallons of mud shot up the well at terrifying speed, firing onto the rig floor. Gas alarms blared. Drillers shouted into radios. The emergency shutdown system activated. But methane, invisible, odorless, explosive, was already rushing up through the rig. It burst out of the well and into the open air. Then it found an ignition source. The first blast ripped through the rig at 9:49 p.m. Crew members described it as a sudden, violent roar, a shockwave that knocked them off their feet. Fire tore across the platform, consuming equipment, machines, cabins, and walkways. Some survivors said the heat felt like opening a furnace door the size of a building. Others never saw the flames. They only felt the shock, the darkness, the debris. The second explosion followed moments later. It was even bigger. It shattered windows on vessels miles away. Flames shot hundreds of feet into the air. The rig, a city-sized steel structure, became a floating firestorm. 11 men were never seen again.
The survivors fought through smoke-filled hallways, collapsing metal, and blinding flames. Emergency lighting failed, alarms blared, doors jammed. Those who could ran outside and leapt overboard, a 60-foot fall into oil-covered water. Others grabbed life rafts, cutting them loose to escape the heat. One lifeboat launched with men on board. Another was lowered manually when power failed. A supply ship, the Bankston, maneuvered dangerously close to rescue the survivors pulling themselves from the water. In the chaos, the rig continued to burn like a torch in the night. Oil and gas fed the flames directly from the erupting well. It was unstoppable. The fire raged through the night and into the next day. Fireboats sprayed water from all sides, but nothing touched the heart of the blaze, a fire fed not by fuel tanks, but by the earth itself. By April 22nd, the rig was listing. Its supports weakened. At 10:22 a.m., the Deepwater Horizon finally sank. It slipped beneath the surface and disappeared into the Gulf. Its destruction revealed the real nightmare. The blowout preventer, the device meant to seal the well in emergencies, had failed. Oil and gas were now erupting directly from the seafloor. The rig was gone, but the disaster was just beginning. Once the rig sank, it left behind an open wellhead spewing oil into the ocean. 3 leaks were discovered. Every day, tens of thousands of barrels of crude oil surged into the Gulf of Mexico. It continued for 87 days, the largest oil spill in human history. Satellite images showed a slick the size of states. Wildlife died in massive numbers. Fisheries collapsed. Tourism suffered. Entire coastlines turned black with tar. The ocean burned. Then it suffocated. Investigations revealed a chain of catastrophic mistakes. Cement barriers failed. Pressure tests were misread. Warning signs were ignored. Safety devices malfunctioned. Emergency systems were not properly maintained. BP, Halliburton, and Transocean, the companies involved, all faced responsibility. Billions were paid in fines and settlements, but no compensation could reverse the damage. Deepwater Horizon wasn't just a disaster. It was a harsh reminder of what lies beneath the ocean and what happens when technology, cost-cutting, and human error collide. On April 20th, 2010, the system failed, one safeguard after another, until the ocean, the machinery, and the people aboard had no defenses left. 11 men died, a rig sank, and the Gulf of Mexico was changed forever. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. Thanks for watching, everybody. I will see you next time.